A quick new idea daily from the world's greatest TEDx talks. I'm your host, Atosa Leone, and this is TEDx Shorts. Deaf from the age of 10, Elise Roy has been a design thinker from early on, constantly adapting her environment and its tools to serve her extraordinary abilities. Elise points to design thinking. As a disability lawyer, she argues that the same approach can be taken by anyone solving big challenges. And in the process, we can gain new perspectives, learn from people with disabilities, and build better solutions.
I believe that losing my hearing was one of the greatest gifts that I've ever received. You see, I get to experience the world in a unique way. And I believe that these unique experiences that people with disabilities have is what's going to help us make and design a better world for everyone, both for people with and without disabilities. Design thinking is a process for innovation and problem solving. There are 5 steps. The first is defining the problem and understanding its constraints. The second is observing people in real-life situations and empathizing with them. Third, throwing out hundreds of ideas. The more, the better. The wilder, the better. Fourth, prototyping, gathering whatever you can find to mimic your solution, to test it, and to refine it. And finally, implementation, ensuring that the solution you came up with is sustainable. Design thinkers believe that everyone is creative. They believe in bringing people from multiple disciplines together because they want to share multiple perspectives and bring them together and ultimately merge them to form something new. Design thinking is such a successful and versatile tool that has been applied in almost every industry. I saw the potential that it had for the issues that I faced, so I decided to go back to school and get my master's in social design. This looks at how to use design to create positive change in the world. While I was there, I fell in love with woodworking. But what I quickly realized was that I was missing out on something. As you're working with a tool, right before it's about to kick back at you, which means the piece or the tool jumps back at you, it makes a sound. And I couldn't hear this sound. So I decided, why not try and solve it? My solution was a pair of safety glasses that were engineered to visually alert the user to pitch changes in the tool before the human ear could pick it up. Why hadn't tool designers thought of this before? 2 reasons. 1, I was a beginner. I wasn't weighed down by expertise or conventional wisdom. The second is I was deaf. My unique experience of the world helped inform my solution. And as I went on, I kept running into more and more solutions that were originally made for people with disabilities, and that ended up being picked up, embraced, and loved by the mainstream, disability or not. Text messaging, that was originally designed for people who are deaf. And as you know, everybody loves that. I started thinking, what if we changed our mindset? What if we started designing for disability first, not the norm? As you've seen, when we design for disability first, we often stumble upon solutions that are not only inclusive, but also are often better than those when we design for the norm. And this excites me because this means that the energy it takes to accommodate someone with a disability can be leveraged, molded, and played with as a force for creativity and innovation. This moves us from the mindset of trying to change the hearts and the deficiency mindset of tolerance to becoming an alchemist, the type of magician that this world so desperately needs to solve some of its greatest problems. Now, I also believe that people with disabilities have great potential to be designers within this design thinking process. I've been a design thinker for nearly all my life. My observation skills have been honed so that I pick up on things that others would never pick up on. My constant need to adapt has made me a great ideator and problem solver. And I've often had to do this within limitations and constraints. This is something that designers also have to deal with frequently. Now, my work most recently took me to Haiti. I lived and worked with 300 deaf individuals. They were relocated after the 2010 earthquake. International aid organizations came one by one, but they came with predetermined solutions. They didn't come ready to observe and to adapt based on the community's needs. One organization gave them goats and chickens, but they didn't realize that there is so much hunger in that community that when the deaf went to sleep at night and they couldn't hear, people broke in to their yards and their homes, and they stole these chickens and these goats, and eventually they were all gone. Now, if that organization had taken the time to observe deaf people, to observe the community, they would have realized their problem, and perhaps they would have come up with a solution, something like a solar light lighting up a secure pin to put them in at night to ensure their safety. You don't have to be a design thinker to insert the ideas that I've shared with you today. You are creative. You are a designer. Everyone is. Let people like me help you. Let people with disabilities help you look sideways, and in the process, solve some of the greatest problems.
The TEDx talk you just listened to was recorded at a TEDx event in Washington, D.C. All TEDx events are independently organized by volunteers who believe in TED's mission of ideas worth spreading. Special thanks to the organizing team at TEDx Mid-Atlantic. Want to listen to more TEDx talks? Visit our website at ted.com/TEDxShorts. I'm Atosa Leone. Thanks for listening, and see you tomorrow.